bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Wednesday, November 20th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and you're watching News Generation. Today, we're joined by Jessica Dainhong.
Happy Wednesday, everyone!
Happy Hump Day!
Yes.
And Im Sang-yeon.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. So, we're going to start with our keyword news of the day. Today's keyword is celebration. Starting next year, South Korea will officially observe 2 new commemorative days. At Tuesday's cabinet meeting, the government designated May 15th as King Sejong the Great's birthday and May 27th as Aerospace Day. A government-designated commemorative day allows for nationwide ceremonies and related events with the possibility of organizing themed weeks or months to honor the occasion. So, Sang-yeon, can you tell us a bit more about King Sejong the Great's birthday and the significance this figure has on Korean history?
Sure. So the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism designated May 15th as the day for the King Sejong the Great's birthday to celebrate the accomplishment of King Sejong. And he's one of the most greatest and also one of the most noble kings in Korean history. The core spirits of King Sejong is people-centric, sovereignty, and practicality. So basically, the day is to recall his spirits in the modern society. And we already have another commemoration day here in Korea for King Sejong. That is the Hangul Day, which is the day for Korean alphabets. And because King Sejong accomplished many things in various fields, including national defense, culture, and society, I think it's really meaningful that the ministry has designated another special day for the king.
Right, because we cannot leave King Sejong when talking about Korean history, especially in terms of Korean language, because he invented the Korean alphabet Hangul. So, Jessica, what about Aerospace Day? Why was May 27th chosen?
Yeah, I think this is a quite unique day because we're heading into the new age of the space industry.
Space race has
Exactly, the space war of the space industry. So the National Aeronautics and Space Administration has designated May 27th as the opening day and quote-unquote the space day. Now, the goal is to become one of the 5 major aerospace powers and to lead the aerospace industry. And given that South Korea has always been a leader in the tech industry, I do see a lot of promise in the space industry as well. Now, it is also very meaningful in that they're also trying to foster an environment in which to promote and bring together both the public and the private sector cooperation so that it can really boost development on all fronts.
Right. So meanwhile, relevant ministries are planning to celebrate these 2 days with special events and activities to mark their significance, so we'll have to look forward to that. And that was our keyword news for this Wednesday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. A quick announcement to our viewers. While Wednesday has been reserved for our weekly My K-Star Pick segment, starting this week, we'll be alternating it with topics on the latest lifestyle trends among young people in Korea. So today's topic is shopping. As many of you may know, November sees some of the world's biggest shopping events like Black Friday in the United States and Singles Day in China. So I want to ask our panelists, have you done shopping recently and where do you usually like to shop?
I think I'm perfect for today's discussion. I think I shop most of my goods online. And I know this sounds terrible, but sometimes shopping online is so quick and easy, which we will talk about.
Right.
Sometimes I forget what I even purchased.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so easy to add it to your cart and then send it. So I do not like to be too preoccupied with other stuff. So timing is really important for me. So the fact that I don't have to go to the physical location and actually have to go through many choices and decision making really makes me love and be always thankful for the online shopping industry. Yeah.
Right. So you often use online shopping.
Very much so. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Then what about you, Sang-yeon?
Well, unlike Jessica, I actually prefer offline department stores when I buy clothes instead of online shopping, because when I'm buying clothes, I really want to check the clothes by myself and also to check the materials and also try them on to see whether they fit on me well. If I were the models in the online shopping malls, then I wouldn't have to worry about these things. But since I'm not, I actually need to be there and check it for myself. Okay, so
You have to be the model for your clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like impossible. So yeah, I guess I'll just have to visit and suffer the walking and physical distance. Anyhow, so for the necessities and other food, especially, use the special apps like Coupang or Kali, which they send you the commodities right after the next day.
Right, within hours.
Yeah, over the midnight. So which is really convenient, and I can understand why these apps are gaining so much popularity because they're just fast and convenient.
Right, they're definitely becoming huge, and both of our panelists mentioned online shopping in their answers. And as digital natives or the tech-savvy generation, our generation seems to favor online shopping. So Jessica, would you say that's correct? At least here, it's correct because I'm also a passionate online shopper, but do we have any data on that?
Absolutely. I myself shop probably, as we mentioned, 90% of my commodities online. And I know from my friends that it has become an important component of our lifestyle.
Right.
As we will discuss later, there are so many benefits, the largest one obviously being the convenience and the speed that we talked about. So let's take a look at the screen to see just how much we rely on online shopping. Now, looking at the stats, more than 50% of MZers shop 2 to 3 times per week, and 37% shop 1 to 2 per month. And only about 3% answered that they don't use online shopping at all. So regardless of the frequency at which they shop, most of the MZers do use online shopping.
Right.
And when asked the categories of purchase, number 1 was actually living supplies, and second was clothes and fashion, and third was, like Sang-hyuk mentioned, fresh produce and food, and fourth was beauty products. But as Sang-hyuk also mentioned, I think the biggest online shopping revolution is really the fresh produce category.
Right.
Because now you can basically pretty much purchase anything, all pre-made, pre-purchased. I can even like shop, you know, those really regional goods, like regional fresh produce, like, you know, 도라지, or like, you know, those can be shopped with a single click. So the variety and the option that you can do in online shopping is just branching out, you know, unbelievably. Yeah.
And they deliver it right up to your doorstep within hours, which is, I think, one of the best parts about online shopping here in Korea. Now, we talked about the methods of shopping among our generation, which is the dominant method is obviously online shopping. Now, let's talk about decision making. So what do young people prioritize when they think about buying a certain product or not?
Yeah, so when we asked young people what are their priorities, especially when they shop online, they said most of them actually replied that price is the biggest determinant. I guess this has to do with the current inflation and the economic burden the young people have to face these days. And the list was followed by product quality, delivery speed, and reviews from other customers.
I see. And you talked about price, and I think this is another reason why online shopping is gaining traction here, because I don't know about all products, but some products, they're much cheaper when you purchase it online.
Yes.
So that could be one of the reasons.
You can also compare prices with
From different
shops.
platforms, right? And even within online shopping, trends seem to change constantly. So I want to now talk about some of the latest shopping trends among young people here in Korea.
So I got to learn this while preparing for today's episode. Have you guys heard of short ping?
I only know shopping, not
Okay.
shopping.
Yeah, I haven't heard it.
It's short ping, which is a combination of short reels and shopping.
Oh.
So apparently, the short videos and the reels that are under a minute affect people's shopping choices. So not only is it used as a marketing tool, but like an advertisement, but because short reels actually can also collect data from its users, sellers can actually collect useful data on how much they watch it, what they're more attracted to, and accordingly, when consumers watch these short reels, they're about almost 4 times more likely to make a purchase. And I've also seen some catchy, even some like extremely viral short reels that pop up that are trying to sell products like diet pills or even some clothes. So I guess they are effective, but I haven't made purchase because of the reels.
You
So
should not be tempted by that.
I know.
That's the
But
fastest
it's so
way to
hard
lose
not
your
to be
money.
tempted.
So fortunately, I have not been tempted, but I definitely have seen how they utilize these short reels for marketing purposes. Yeah.
Right, so this boom in online shopping has even led to a creation of a new marketing strategy for
apparently
these
so.
platforms. So any new trends that you'd like to share, Sang-hyuk?
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is that these days many young people actually are involving into cross-border online shopping.
Right.
And it has been found that 84% of MZers do have experience of buying products online that comes from overseas. And the reason behind this global online shopping has to do with affordable price and brand diversity because some products are cheaper for other countries rather than buying in South Korea. And there are brands that we cannot just simply find in domestic market.
Definitely.
Also, online shopping through Chinese markets is gaining an uptick these days. But actually, it has been found out that only 17% of young people actually actively buy something from Chinese market. It's assumed that although Chinese merchandise are cheap, the downgraded quality has discouraged many consumers in Korea to actually buy them.
Right. There have been several controversies this year regarding the qualities of these platforms such as Temu. But those were one of the most headlining issues that we've seen related to online shopping here in Korea. Now, you guys both seem to be passionate, avid online shoppers. You introduced shopping and you talked about other trends as well. So from your perspective and based on your experience, what do you think are some of the pros and cons of shopping online?
As a consumer myself, the number one pro is convenience, convenience, and convenience.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not so sure it can entirely be considered a pro because I think our generation is getting used to the quick and fast shopping mechanism, which does make us impatient and sometimes I think a little bit too aggressive when we want things too quickly. But granted, I must say the one-day delivery service has saved my life.
It is sensational.
On so many occasions. And usually you talked about like getting deliveries of even clothes for the next day, like special meetings and stuff. But also being able to actually see and like screen the reviews prior to purchase, I think is an added bonus. Because when we go to an offline shops, we cannot get any testimonials about this particular product before we actually buy and test it out.
Right.
But now the review system is so great that you can actually look
and compare,
watch videos, and then see if you actually like the product. But I think the cons that we need to address are sometimes the overflowing and overworking of the parcel delivery workers.
Right.
There have been some controversies related, and also the overpackaging of the parcels. We also talked about it, but sometimes because it is a delivery, they overpackage even the smallest good. And also lastly, the buy and return system, because it is all done online, I think sometimes people abuse it more than try to be grateful and use it. So I think these are the things that need to be addressed and maybe have a bit more stricter regulation when it comes to these kind of online shopping.
Definitely. Now, to you, Sang-yeol, what do you think are some of the biggest pros and cons?
Yeah, so let me just focus on cons for now. If I change the perspective, not as a consumer, but as a vendor who actually use these platforms, I think we already talked about this in NewsGen regarding the issues of the We Make Price and Tmall, because these e-commerce platforms face payment delays or even fail to pay their vendors. So this case shows that even though e-commerce platform is really convenient for the consumers, if you're a vendor who are willing to actually sell the products online, then this could bring a severe financial risk to you. So to that end, many people are voicing out the need for stronger regulation and also monitoring systems so that we can actually tighten the overall regulation for the e-commerce platform.
So as much as online shopping has a lot of advantages, as this market is growing huge, there are definitely issues and concerns that we need to address. Now, going back to more on the online shopping experience here in Korea, after the break, we're going to invite an American millennial to share her experience of online shopping.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search our channel Arirang.News. Click Community and leave a comment down below. Make a new type of news with us.
So today we're joined by Jem Kozak, a millennial from the United States. Welcome back to the show, Jem.
Hello, nice to see you.
Hello, nice to see you as well. So Jem, I want to ask you, have you been shopping online often during your time here in Korea? And what do you usually buy?
Oh my goodness, I buy absolutely everything from yesterday, I bought a new computer mouse to the other day, a pineapple. You can really buy anything online and it comes straight to your door. Actually, when my parents visit from the US, they are so shocked. They say, you want it, you do a few clicks on your phone, and it's at your doorstep the next day. They absolutely cannot believe it.
And I completely agree with you. I've lived in the States, and the kind of service that we have here in South Korea is just phenomenal. What do you think are the advantages of online shopping in South Korea? And I know you gave it a little bit of example, but could you compare it to shopping online in your own home country as well? Yeah.
Well, yes, definitely the speed. I mean, the speed is the biggest one, but I think compared to the US, I also think the availability of products, I really can get anything I want. You mentioned about the fresh produce. I can get butter, I can get meat. So it's not just groceries, it's also products. But if I need some electric accessories, anything like that is possible. So I think just the wide variety of products that I can get and that I can get in almost an instant, right? I mean, it's not really an instant, but it certainly feels like it, doesn't it?
It pretty much is an instant.
Yes.
Okay, so from your perspective, apart from food or other groceries, are there any areas where you think online shopping in Korea can actually improve?
I actually might be the only person to complain about this. Even though it is so fast, sometimes it is too fast. I order my produce for the next morning, but it sometimes arrives at my door by midnight. So then I wake up and find that the meat is waiting for me at midnight instead of 7 in the morning. It's not a big problem, but I would rather it, be able to put it in the refrigerator right away. Otherwise, I have no complaints. I think it's really great, as long as the workers are satisfied. I do think there have been issues with workers' treatment, but otherwise, as far as service, they're doing great.
Some very great points you've made and offered, Jem. Thank you so much for your time today. Always appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so to expand our discussion, we also asked our viewers what they tend to buy most when they shop online. And here are some of their responses. Let's take a look at today's comments. Eddie Lee 5909 says, I used to only buy gadgets, but I've started buying food online after moving to Japan, since physically going to buy food costs more and is hard to carry back home. Benny D97, I bought some gadgets like earbuds recently and even keyboards for my laptops. RKZ LTV, I buy all sorts of things from food ingredients to clothes to gadgets. The only downside is feeling guilty about the packaging waste that comes with it. Right, so we can definitely see that our viewers are actually buying a diverse array of products from online when compared to before. Now, wrapping up our episode today, what are some tips for shopping wisely on shopping platforms? Because we've been seeing these shopping platforms and these services expanding their services and improving their services at a really, really quick speed. So any tips you'd like to give to our consumers?
I think, I know nowadays reviews aren't everything because now they even hire people to write reviews.
Comments.
Yeah, write comments. But I think it is a good way to make sure that there are some trustworthy reviews. And also nowadays, there are so many great reviewers on YouTube too that actually make videos.
Yeah.
So maybe check those out. My go-to is always to check the refund and return policy because as Hang-Hyuk mentioned, sometimes when it comes to online shopping, it's really hard to gauge the size or even sometimes the quality of the produce or the good that you're just purchasing. So I think that's one. But the other thing that I would like to add, which is because we talked about it a lot in the studio today, is maybe as consumers, we can be a little bit more active in voicing the concern for the packaging.
Right.
Because I think the vendors would change their policy if the consumers demand from it. So there are a lot of great ways to go green in so many ways. So I think that is one way that we can be a little bit more active and powerful as consumers as well.
Right, so maybe coming up with a platform, these platforms coming up with a platform where consumers can voice out and kind of suggest how to go green.
How to go green, yeah. There's just so much packaging waste. You and I talked about it that goes into when it comes to deliveries. And because we're only going to use it more and more often, it would be great if there is a way to channel it quickly to going more green. Yeah.
Right, and I think that my tip is, I think it's similar to Cheska's, but I really like to search for reviews on YouTube because there are so many good YouTubers who do great reviews on products. They're really helpful. So definitely checking out that could be a great advice for all those online shoppers. Now to you, Sang-Hyuk.
Well, I think the best way way actually is to go offline and visit the groceries yourself and to check all the products. Because if you think about the online shoppings, they have what is called delivery cost. And they actually make the consumers to order the volume to certain limits.
Oh,
true. That's very
there's a
true.
minimum amount.
So they can be exempted from actually paying the delivery cost. So I think this is just one of the marketing strategy of the e-commerce platform. So in that sense, I think, especially if you're a single person household, I think you should at least visit the offline stores, do some physical exercise for that. Now, as for the clothes, I think that rather than buying overly expensive clothes that has a logo on it or buying overly cheap products won't be good for you. When it comes to buying clothes, I suggest you to check the materials, whether they are really cozy and whether they fit your skin really well. If you like buy a bunch of sweaters that with a low quality and at a cheap price, then you'll only wear them like 2 to 3 times and throw them away. Instead, buy one nice sweater that can actually make you feel comfortable. And in that way, you'll be able to wear the same clothes for many years. And that's also one way to save your money.
Right, I think that's a very good investment. All right, so today we talked about online shopping culture among young people here in Korea. Hope our discussion helped you when you do online shopping in the future. And that's all from us today. But Newsden will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Korea time. Special thanks today to Cheska Daina.
Pleasure's always mine. Thank you.
Thank you. And Im Sang-yeok.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.